Hey guys, this is Cody and you are on the channel Cody Tarot. So for today's pick a card, we have necklaces to choose from, and we have the piles below the crystals too. But today's reading is all going to be about how people perceive you, how people view you, other people's perceptions of you, and just in general, how do people view you as a person? What are your personality traits that come across to other people that that come across to them, but maybe you might even be unaware of. All right, well, let's get into picking the crystals now. So our first crystal we have is a necklace of Aqua quartz. Next, we have a necklace of Citrine. Next, we have a necklace of Sunstone. And next, we have a necklace of Peridot. Let me see if we can focus that. So whatever necklace is calling your attention the most, that's going to be your pile. You can also use your intuition to pick. If you don't want to focus on the necklaces, you can focus on the pile of cards and use your intuition that way to pick one of the piles in front of you. So with that said, I'll give you a minute to pick your card and then we'll move on with the reading. All right, moving on with the reading with group number 1. Hey guys, so this is if you picked pile 1, the Aqua Quartz. Let's see if I can show you guys that. The Aqua Quartz. Let's look at your cards. So we have Rhino Spirit, Close Encounters, 7 of Swords, 6 of Swords, and Queen of Cups. Let me space these out so we can all see them. Okay, so let's get into your reading. So this is how other people perceive you. So first we have Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacle. The one thing about rhinos that always strikes out to me first and foremost with this card, and I don't know if I saw it on a nature channel or if I'm confusing them with hippos, but definitely the whole idea of loyalty to family and friends and the people close with you, right? And then you also see here with this rhino has this big horn, right? So if they ram into something, they will hit their target. They will do damage. So that's all about people kind of see you as like a tough person and someone that is a little dangerous to be around. So people also perceive you as very loyal to your family and your friends, but at the same time, they know you're not someone to mess with at all. Overcome any obstacle, what it says right here, just means that people also see you as the type of person that can tackle challenges and overcome them quite easily. So they see you as someone who maybe you even make it look easy, even though it might not be, but you can kind of overcome these obstacles. No matter how many obstacles are set up in your path, you just kind of overcome them. What we see here with 7 of Swords, this card usually pops up to me when someone is perceived as, people can perceive these people as maybe a little bit more manipulative or a little more charming or charismatic. We kind of see that over here also with the Queen of Cups with this intuitive nature. But over here with the 7 of Swords, what we see is how people see you is kind of like that you're a little like manipulative when you try to get your way. Like people kind of see you as not taking advantage, but people see you as being able to like charm people in a way that's kind of like, you know, if like you think of like a charming con artist, you know, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting right here. People view you like that. Whether you're like that or not, that's just how people view you. 6 of Swords right here with this transition journey with these crows you know, people see you maybe moving too slowly, and kind of like people see you as kind of sad. They see you as kind of maybe like pessimistic, or maybe just a kind of like a sadder person. Maybe they don't see you as like the most happy person in the world, but they see you moving forward nonetheless. So yeah, if you think about rhinos, they're very big creatures, and you know, I don't know how fast it takes them to move or to charge an enemy. I assume quickly, but other than that, I see them moving pretty slow, and gets reiterated here at the Six of Swords. So you probably have more of a slow-moving, phlegmatic, kind of like emotionless energy. But which is interesting because right here we have this Queen of Cups, right? And she is just putting her hands up, and you know, she's kind of defenseless, right? But she believes in the power of what's in this cup. You know, it's almost as if she's casting a spell and letting this cup do its thing. And she's all surrounded by water, which just shows that like people also see that you have this intuitive side. So every once in a while, your intuitive side pops out, and people see that as a really like pleasant surprise, because we have all this really heavy swords energy, which denotes very much a logical orientation. You might be the type of person who's very rational, but then all of a sudden this Queen of Cups parts pops out, and that's what really endears you to people, is this kind of like intuitive energy. And also you also have this defenseless side to you. So this could be something you show to your friends or close ones, is this kind of like defenselessness, and also your intuitive nature. So that's really cool, and that really can bond you to people. Close encounters just goes back what we were talking about with the rhino spirit, overcome any obstacles. Sometimes when you're overcoming obstacles in life, or you're using kind of this Seven of Swords, kind of like more manipulative energy, it can rub people the wrong way. So people definitely see you as someone, close encounters just to me is like kind of like, I think of fights, like close encounters with fighting someone. Like if you ever bump into someone and someone says, hey, watch where you're going, and you say, oh, you know, sorry, you know, and then you move on. This person would be like, bump into you, hey, watch where you're going, and they'd say something quick back that kind of like could rile them up, but kind of doesn't. So people see that you kind of get close to fights, but you don't actually get into fights. So that's a very interesting thing about you as well. Let me see if there's anything else I'm missing. We also see here that this is if people get to know you a little bit more. People kind of see that you have a dark past, like you kind of come from a place in your life where you had to kind of like overcome a lot, and it just shows even more and proves even more about these overcoming these obstacles. People see that you kind of came from very like humble beginnings, and you had to overcome all these great odds to get where you are today. So people see you as very challenge focused and challenge oriented, and all at the same time very achievement focused and achievement oriented, because you came from such a low place in the world, maybe from either financial poverty or low income, and now you're maybe like high income. That's for one example. It could apply to many different fields. So maybe you started out as like a really weak person, but you spent a whole bunch of time in the gym, and now you're really ripped and buff. So it just depends on that. This could apply with the spiritual too, with the Queen of Cups. Like maybe you started out with no spiritual inclinations at all, and then through time you worked on yourself spiritually and became this very like powerful spiritual being. And then one last thing I want to say with the Seven of Swords, what I got with this two cards too, is you're very resourceful. You know how to use your resources well. So you know how to acquire resources pretty easily. So either making money or getting things in the world, and you know how to like use those resources well. So yeah, that was your reading for if you picked the Aqua Aura Quartz. Let's see if that's in the camera. Yeah, and yeah, moving on to group. Oh yeah, if you like the reading, like or comment below. Subscribe to my channel if you really like the reading, you want to see more of these pick a cards. And also, I really enjoyed reading for you. And moving on to group 2. Okay, group 2, this is if you picked the, let's see if you can see that, the citrine necklace. Let's see what cards you got. Let's see. First we have the Deer Spirit. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and we have Bearing Fruit. Okay, so first thing I want to bring up with Dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch. People see you as an incredibly gentle soul. They also possibly see you as a slightly skittish soul. So you might be the type of person who spooks or scares easily, but at the same time, people see you as incredibly gentle and graceful. You're very much the kind of person that people want around because you make them feel good, but the other negative thing about Dear Spirit is you tend to attract aggressive people who want to take advantage of you. So you have to be worried of that. So that's another flip side of this. People also view you as someone that they can take advantage of, but most people, just in general, view you as someone that's incredibly gentle and someone who is very nice and pleasant to be around. What we see here with the Wheel of Fortune upright is that people view you as incredibly lucky, right? It's basically as the wheel turns, people are just saying, like, you're always on the right side of the wheel to stay on top of what's going on. So you know how to work with the light and dark forces in the universe to create luck and keep luck on your side. We also see that like reiterated here with bearing fruit, but I'll get to that in a minute. So Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles just shows that you're kind of like this, people see you as like an apprentice or always working on a project. People see you as very like dedicated to your goals, set, maybe a little set in your ways, but in a way that like makes you productive. So not set in your ways in kind of like, you're not open-minded, but set in your ways in that you're set in your ways with how you work and how your working patterns. They kind of see you as, very dedicated in that regard, Ten of Cups right here, we see that you're very family focused. You're very family oriented. So people know that if they know you or people know you and your family or see how you interact with your family, they know that you have an incredible bond with your family, that your family means the world to you. So, and this doesn't have to be actual family, like your parents or brothers and sisters. This could be like a friend group that's like your family. Say you don't have a family. We're just saying here that people see you as very family focused. So chances are, if you do have a family that you have strong connections with, those connections are really, really strong. Sorry, I don't know why I did quotes, but those connections are really, really strong. And but what we see here also is if you don't have a strong family connections or you maybe didn't grow up with that, you definitely create those connections with your friends, and those friends are treated just like family, right? We see that also you're a very happy person. You're the type of person that is very like optimistic, positive, joyful, and it makes sense with all this luck coming your way constantly, or how people perceive you as very lucky. People also perceive you as happy. That's right. This could be also the fact that maybe you don't feel like you're so happy on the outside, but this is how people perceive you. And people definitely perceive you as lucky. You might not feel lucky, but people perceive you as always being on the up and up with opportunities, life situations. You're always there catching the right thing. And that brings us to bearing fruit. So bearing fruit just means that people see you as kind of like a very fruitful person. I mean, you chose the citrine necklace, which is called the merchant stone, right? Which is kind of a crystal that can bring in lots of money and bring in clients and customers. So you basically know how to find the right people for your product. We see here with the Eight of Pentacles that with these moon cycles and this bountiful thing, you know how to wait. You know how to wait for your harvest. So when we have bearing fruit here, that brings another meaning into this. That you know how to wait for the harvest to pluck all these like joy, these kind of like successes off the tree. And people have noticed this about you. They see that you kind of are akin to kind of a gardener type of personality, and you kind of can get these different fruits off like these projects that you've created or started. You kind of know how to make them all successful and work to your advantage. Let me see if I'm missing anything else. Okay, one thing I noticed too is that we also have most of the cards in here, even though we have one major arcana, we also have the Pentacles and the Cups, which are more slow moving energies, albeit more peaceful energies. So even though you have Deer Spirit and deers are kind of quick on their feet, I see you as more of a slow moving type of person. You're graceful, but in a slow and steady kind of way. So you might not be the most fast paced person as far as your achievements and accomplishments are concerned. You might have more of a liquidy or earthy feeling to your, being, if that makes sense. Yeah, and like I mentioned with the wheel, people see that you work with light and shadow aspects, and that gets you your luck, So I think that's about covers it. That was if you picked the Citrine. I think that's in the camera, yeah. And yeah, so moving on to, oh yeah, if you like this reading, like or comment below. If you want to see more of these pick a cards, you can subscribe to my channel. I'm always posting new stuff. And I really enjoy reading for you guys. So with that said, moving on to group number 3. Hello, group number 3. This is if you picked the Sunstone necklace. So let's see what your tarot cards are. So for your oracle, we have Stag Spirit. Then we have Two of Wands, Three of Cups, the Lovers, and the Royal You. Okay, let's get into your reading. So first of all, with Stag Spirit, we see this here with Stag Spirit take the lead, that you are a leader. You are the type of person that, similar to Deer Spirit, the one we just had, you're a person that has more of a gentle nature, but you have more of a regal royal nature. And we see that here with the Royal You. You have more of this royal attitude towards your life. You treat people as if, you know, you're royalty or they're your, you know, subjects. And people see that you kind of have this regal sense to you. We also see here with the Two of Wands that you have a lot of foresight, that you're definitely someone who plans ahead, right? We also see here with the World in this card is that you might be someone who's attracted to world travel or worldly events, things that are happening in the world. That could be like news, politics, that could be anything going on with like social causes or anything like that. You're very active politically. We also see that here with the Stag Spirit take the lead, that you might want to take people see you as taking an active lead in the political sphere or in world events and, you know, kind of being a leader in that way. You know, Three of Cups just shows your ability to unite different groups of people. So as a leader, not only do you lead people with new ideas and different ways of thinking, and also just your foresight in general, you're showing people how to get somewhere based on what you foresee happening in the future. We see with the Three of Cups here that you're also really good at uniting a whole big group of friends and having that really solid group of friends. So people see you as a really good friend. You're that kind of friend, that once in a lifetime friend that just goes above and beyond in your friendships. We also see here that you're very romantic. I mean, you've got a lot going for you. Let's just put it that way. You've got a lot going for you. We see that over here with the Lovers card, and you basically are just the most romantic like person in the world. Your friends are very lucky to have you. Your romantic partners are very lucky to have you. We also see with the Lovers and also a sense of knowing yourself and your values and where you stand in the world. You know what you believe in. And ultimately that's what gets you the relationships and the love that you really desire and want in your life. So it makes sense that as a leader, you're more of like a people leader, we see with the Three of Cups and the Lovers, that you're more a leader when it comes to like relationships and people and focused on that. The Royal You just shows that people like think you come from like royalty. So whether you do or not, people assume that you kind of come from a sense of like a royal family, or you kind of come from like, I don't know how to put this better, that you seem like a noble, or that maybe your family is like more well off than other people's families. The Royal You also just means that like, you might like, you know, maybe like your ancestry in and of itself is like partly you come from a royal family, you know? But basically people see you as portrayed that they think you seem like you come from royalty. What else can I say? Let me see if I can get anything else from this. Okay, we also see here with the Two of Wands, I'm noticing the Two Wands right here as this woman looks out into the world. And I'm also noticing the Lovers is kind of like there's only two people in this card. And then right here I see the Three of Cups, which kind of reminds me of like Charmed in The Power of Three, if you've ever watched Charmed. But anyway, what we see here with these Two of Wands, I see this like whole dual nature thing where you have this ability to tap into different dual sides of life. So you can see the opposites. You can see how one thing is true, but how another thing is kind of like equally true, even though it opposes that other thing. And so moving with those opposites And moving with those, understanding those opposites in life is what creates this foresight and gets you the jump that other people don't see. You know, you see way far ahead into the future, more than anyone else can see. So that's really good. So knowing that duality of things is like really helpful and makes you like succeed in the world. And then with the Lover's spirit, we also see that knowing that duality, that same dualistic principle, it really creates your values. So not only does it help your foresight, it really develops and helps you create your values and what you believe in the world. You know, and also that in turn attracts relationships and a lot of love partners. So you might actually be the type of person who's very romantic, has many options in love, or if you don't, people perceive you this way, right? This whole reading is about how people perceive you. So yeah, and then also with Stag Spirit, take the lead. Stag is very similar to Deer Spirit, except stags can more defend themselves more easily. They have antlers. So you're kind of like Deer Spirit, but with a little bit of a kick. Like you can actually defend yourself where people with the Deer Spirit pile cannot defend themselves. So yeah, I think that does it for about, if you pick the Sunstone, that's about it for the reading. So if you like the reading, you can like below or comment below. If you really like the reading, you can subscribe to my channel. I'm also always posting new stuff, coming out with new things to do. And I really enjoyed reading for you guys. Moving on to group number 4. Okay, group 4, this is if you picked the Peridot, this green stone. All right, let's see what you got in your tarot cards. So first you got Squirrel Spirit, Death Rebirth, the Hangman, the Hermit, oh wow, powerful energy, Awakening Genius. Wow, okay, so this is a really beautiful reading. So if you chose the Peridot, let's get into your how people perceive you. So first with Believe in Yourself, with Squirrel Spirit, people see you as kind of like small in stature, but at the same time, or that you maybe not, you could be a very tall person, but basically the fact that they see you as kind of like, you have some kind of like tiny thing about you where you're kind of smaller than, you know, your average person. But we see here with Believe in Yourself, people see you with so much confidence. They see you that you have the most confidence in the world. They also see you as very resourceful. You're able to, like, with the squirrel with these acorns and stuff, you are able to pick up, like, and get acorns and bury them and stuff. You might be very financially savvy and very quick on your feet. But Believe in Yourself just basically means that you have that confidence, that you kind of came into this world with confidence. So we see some interesting things here. People see you as someone who is constantly transforming themselves. So first what we have here with Death and Rebirth, first people, the thing that people notice about you is they kind of see through you. It's possible that you also see through other people. You kind of see through them and like beyond them and not like, how do I put this? People view you as the type that kind of like sees into their soul and out the back of their head. With the Hangman and the Hermit, we see that people notice that you always take your time. Like you do not rush, you always take your time. You're very, we also see that, oh yeah, you're very flexible too. That's really important here, is that you're very flexible. With the Hermit right here, we see that you are, keep to yourself when you're going through these transformations, and people see that. But that's when you're most attractive to people, actually, is when you're doing this hermit energy and this soul searching. People are kind of like, I wonder what's going on in their head. You know, people are always curious to what's going on in your mind. What are you thinking of? What is, you know, that's the thing. People don't know too much about you. You know, they know that you're confident, resourceful, and you definitely believe in yourself. You know, you're the type of person that can pretty much accomplish any goal. And we see here with the Death and Rebirth card that you're kind of always reinventing yourself. So you're always closing the door to one chapter and opening the door to the next chapter. So people definitely know that there are segments and stages in your life, and that if they're only in one stage, that might not translate into them being in your life in the next stage of your life. Awakening genius over here just comes from this hermit energy. When you go within and then you emerge, people definitely see you as kind of like emerging in strength with your intelligence. They notice that after you've been alone for a period of time, when you come out, you're just like amazingly smart and brilliant. And people notice this and they always think like, what are they doing alone that is making them so smart and brilliant? You know, they're just very curious about this aspect of you. And they also see, you know, with the hangman here, it just shows that you're patient, you take time out. The hermit and the hangman, both with these glowing lights, it's just like double confirm. I don't know why I do quotes like that. It is double confirmation that, yeah, it's double confirmation that you're using this introspection to really like gain a perspective. And what we see here is that because there's two options here, we see that with the hangman and the hermit, there's two ways of introspecting, right? The hangman's all about shifting your perspective, right? And the hermit is all about soul searching. So kind of going within your soul, believing what you believe in, your values, what you stand for. That's more the hermit energy. The hangman's more looking at a different angle and shifting your perspective. So we see that you mull things over and look at things from different angles, as well as soul searching when you spend time alone. And that kind of combination, right, that, you know, that happens when you're alone creates this awakening genius thing, and that's what people perceive. The awakening genius is really what people perceive. Some people may perceive these things, but I would say not a lot of people are that perceptive to the way you operate when you're on your own. But this awakening genius thing is really interesting, and it's really catching my attention. It seems like a very powerful thing, so it's definitely something that makes you very charming and charismatic. The fact that you're just so smart and intelligent, and that when you come out of these little hermit hangman periods, you're just so brilliant, right? That can also be with the death and rebirth, right? Is the fact that when you spend time alone, you come out, you seem like a different person, right? That your next chapter of your life is starting and is moving forward. So yeah, let me see if there's anything else I'm missing. Yeah, we see here with just with the seclusion and stuff, it's important to be around water, I see. You know, it's almost like you recharge your energies by being by the sea or by water, or maybe even by just drinking a lot of water or taking a bath or a shower. I see cleansing as a big part of your rejuvenation. So not only are you perspective shifting and soul searching, but you're actually going through a cleansing process, a purging process of all the things that have gotten stuck on you, and then you're kind of purging them in the outer world. Or purging them when you go within, and then so you can reinvent yourself for the outer world and be kind of like ready to take on different things. Yeah, and then with the squirrel spirit, I already mentioned that you are resourceful, can get all the things you need in life. Yeah, I think that's about it. That about covers how people perceive you. If you like the reading, you can like, comment below. Or if you want to see more pick a cards like this, you can subscribe to my channel. I'm always posting new stuff. I really enjoyed reading for you guys today, and moving on with group 0. Okay, moving on with the end of the reading. All right, bye guys. See you later.